He walked into his favorite restaurant, expecting a quiet meal. But when his eyes landed on the woman serving tables, everything stopped. She was pregnant, his ex-wife, and her face told a story no one should ever have to live. In that moment, the millionaire didn't just see a waitress. He saw a lifetime of struggle and silent battles fought behind closed doors. What happened next would shatter his world and reveal a truth far deeper than money or status. This isn't just a story about one man. It's a reflection of a pain too many still endure. Before that night, Marcus lived a life many would envy. A successful millionaire, he was known for his sharp business mind and calm confidence. His world was one of boardrooms and luxury, far removed from the struggles of his past. But beneath the surface, there was a history he rarely spoke of, a past tied to a woman he once loved deeply. His ex-wife, Jasmine, was carrying their child, and their lives had taken very different paths. Marcus remembered the early days, how love once felt simple, hopeful, before ambition and circumstance pulled them apart. Jasmine had dreams too, but life had dealt her a harsh hand. She worked tirelessly, supporting herself in ways Marcus could hardly imagine. Every late night, every shift spent serving tables was a battle against a world that too often judged her before knowing her. That evening, as Marcus stepped into his favorite restaurant for a quiet dinner, he had no idea that a simple glance would force him to confront a reality far harsher than any business deal. A reality marked by prejudice, pain, and resilience. As Marcus stood frozen, his eyes locked on Jasmine, a flood of memories crashed through him. Memories he'd buried beneath success and distance. But this wasn't just a reunion. It was a collision of two worlds he'd long tried to separate. Jasmine's smile was tired, her posture weary. The restaurant wasn't a glamorous place. It was a job she took to make ends meet, juggling exhaustion and the heavy weight of an unplanned pregnancy. Each step she took seemed to carry the weight of 1,000 unspoken stories. Marcus noticed the way her hands trembled as she balanced trays, the way her eyes darted nervously, always aware of the judgments lurking in the eyes of strangers. She was doing her best to hold it all together, but the cracks were there, quiet, painful, real. The other patrons barely glanced their way, but Marcus noticed the subtle glances, the quiet judgments hiding behind polite smiles. His heart pounded as he realized something deeper was at play, not just about their fractured past, but about who Jasmine was in this world. She was invisible to most, just another waitress in a crowded room. But to Marcus, she was a stark reminder of a truth he'd never fully faced. He moved closer, noticing the manager's sharp tone cutting through the noise. Orders barked without empathy, impatience clear in every word. Jasmine answered calmly, but Marcus saw the strain, the exhaustion that didn't just come from physical labor, but from the constant battle against disrespect. Suddenly, a man at a nearby table sneered, loud enough for Jasmine to hear. "Shouldn't someone like you be at home, not here serving us?" The room fell silent. Jasmine's face tightened, but she kept her composure, refusing to respond. Marcus's chest tightened, anger and helplessness colliding inside him. How could someone so strong be made to feel so small? He wanted to step in, to defend her, but years of pride and silence held him back. Instead, he watched, helpless, as the injustice played out before him. A microcosm of a larger world where Jasmine's worth was constantly questioned, where race and circumstance drew invisible lines too many ignored. The weight of it pressed down on Marcus, forcing him to confront a past he thought he'd escaped. Then, a sudden commotion at the door drew everyone's attention. A group of customers barged in, their words sharp and unkind, their stares filled with prejudice. Jasmine braced herself, her hands gripping the tray tightly. Marcus's mind raced. What would happen next? Could he do anything to change this? Or was he just another silent witness to a harsh reality? The tension in the restaurant exploded in an instant. A customer slammed his fist on the counter, his voice dripping with contempt. Why is she even here? Pregnant and still working? What kind of woman does that? The room froze. Jasmine's face flushed, eyes wide but steady, masking the storm raging inside. Marcus felt his blood boil, the years of silence and denial crashing down. Then came the shove, a sudden, harsh push from the same man, knocking Jasmine's tray to the floor. Plates shattered, food splattered across the floor, and the murmurs swelled into whispers filled with blame and scorn. The manager didn't intervene. No one did. It was as if Jasmine was invisible, expendable, beneath their notice. Marcus wanted to scream, to step in, but his voice caught in his throat. Fear tangled with fury. He saw Jasmine standing tall despite everything. The exhaustion, the pain, the weight of the world on her shoulders, and realized this wasn't just about one moment. It was a lifetime of judgment, of doors slammed shut because of her skin, her circumstances. His heart pounded as he fought to find the words, the courage. Could he break through the walls built by years of prejudice? Could his status shield her from a world that refused to see her worth? The crowd's eyes were on them now, waiting for his move. Silence stretched thin, heavy with expectation and accusation. Marcus's mind raced. This was more than a confrontation. It was a reckoning. Would he stay silent? Or would this moment finally shatter the barriers that had kept them apart, for good? In the silence that followed, Marcus finally found his voice. He stepped forward, not as a millionaire, but as a man forced to confront the painful truth he'd long avoided. He apologized to Jasmine, not just for the past they shared, but for the world that had treated her like less than she deserved. Together, they faced the crowd, not with anger, but with a quiet strength that demanded respect. That night, Marcus realized something profound. No amount of money or status could shield anyone from the deep scars of racism and inequality. Jasmine's struggle wasn't unique. It was a mirror reflecting a society still grappling with injustice, where people are judged not by their character, but by the color of their skin or the circumstances they were born into. Marcus also understood that his silence had been part of the problem. The way he distanced himself, thinking success could erase the pain of their past or protect him from facing harsh truths. But confronting Jasmine's reality made him see just how pervasive and personal racial injustice can be, even when hidden behind everyday scenes. This story is more than a moment in a restaurant. It's a call to see beyond appearances, to recognize the humanity in every person, no matter their story. Because until we do, these invisible battles will continue to rage, quietly, painfully, often unseen. So, what will you do when faced with injustice? Will you look away? Or will you stand up? Share this story. Talk about it. Because change begins with awareness, and it begins with us.